Recording is on.
Perfect. Welcome everyone to week number 28 of 2019. I am in Istanbul, as you can hear in the background, the ship in the Bosporus. And yeah, we're making our round through everyone who joined today and is working on contributing to eternity and products around in our universe. And as I have seen interesting stuff happening on the side of our browser wallet, I would like to have Milan starting this round. So Milan, please tell us what has been shipped this week.
Yeah, hello guys. So this week we've been working hard on the wallet extension, and we've accomplished some features that were very useful, and now we will be improving them. First, we are supporting now the Eternity naming system, so every account can register via the extension a name in the naming system. Second, we've injected an ape object, which is used for communication with the website for decentralized applications. And now we have the ability to connect with, we have the ability a website to request connection to user's wallet and then request signature of some transactions. So this way we can communicate with decentralized applications and allow user to verify and sign transaction for certain website. We also worked on fixing some problems, UI related and performance related. We've fixed some problems with updating the balance of the account, and we've included a phishing detector. We've attached an API that is open available from Ethereum, I think, where there is this list of scammy and phishing websites, and we now have a warning message for people when they visit some page that is announced as and marked as a scammy page. We are also working on our own engine and our own API that will be used for the same purpose and also for statistical tracking of usage and transactions. Transaction stats for users of the wallet, so that way we'll be able to verify how much people use it and what for. We've also refactored some of the main functions, the loaders and the alerts that people see. And yeah, we've now released version 0.0.7, which is already shipped in the Chrome store and the Firefox store, but they have this review process, so it will be available there, I think, next week. Otherwise, you can get it from the GitHub releases and load it locally and use these features that I've talked about. Also, we've been yesterday I've posted on the forum how what is the workflow of the communication between an application and the wallet. So if somebody is interested, can see the forum thread and try communicating with the wallet via some application. And yeah, I think this was the most important. Otherwise, me and Pivo worked also on the AX9 proposal, which is for fungible tokens. Yesterday, we've documented the proposed implementation, and actually, we came up with the idea that we need to standardize the way that we document smart contracts on Sophia. So there will be a following proposal for this soon. And yeah, this is from our side.
Really nice for me as an app user and app developer, I also enjoyed a lot the forum post where you showed the flow. And I would like to encourage actually everyone to sometimes do things like that, like present their flow, how they imagine to use tools or use wallet app interactions, let it be the base app or the wallet, or also as an app developer when you maybe build a simple application and set up your environment. I think all those best practices, as more as we share of them, I think the more beneficial it will be for the ecosystem. There are also some interesting website. I think it's dev.to, for example, that they do this a lot. I like to follow this. There's a nice, interesting community of those snippets, and I think it's a really nice and good thing to do. And I would love to see more of this in the forum. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks.
Is extremely busy integrating our naming auction and having it ready for the last scheduled hard upgrade of Eternity. Michal, I give you the word to give us some updates about the protocol, and then you can leave and work again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks. So let me give you a short update on the backend and protocol team. We had a release last week, so a whole bunch of things got finalized. I have some notes here. State channels multiplexing got in, so channels reuse the same listening port. There are e-tags merged, so e-tags is e-tags. It's a way of client-side caching, more efficiency for clients. For our HTTP APIs, we have the Stratum, the beta version or alpha version, where everything is integrated. So yeah, it's ready to mine in mainnet. We are waiting for feedback, and depending on feedback, we will develop those features that are needed. We are aware of some of them, but there is no need to invest time and effort if nobody uses that. And finally, we had more improvements to general account handling. We find another layers and cases in the system when it can be improved, when we can distinguish between old simple ones and GAs. Currently, I'm focusing on naming service with Carol. We have a couple features to work on: the bidding, rent, lock mechanism, and subdomains. That's the base feature set we would like to deliver for the next hard fork. More improvements to the VM is coming from VM team, and more state channel stuff. It's demo oriented now, from what I know. So yeah, another interesting thing we do is recently we designed signaling mechanism for hard forks. So after the Lima release, we will lose this guidance for the community. Everyone will be able to propose whenever they want. So the signaling of the readiness to accept the next hard fork will be pretty useful and I think necessary in the ecosystem.
Super nice. Can people read up somewhere, Michal, about basically the rough specs when it comes to naming and bidding, so roadmap related? Or also, I think Helmut just posted here, the same thing comes to, let's say, the roadmap and plans for the state channel, something that's a little bit more easy to understand than the backlog and pivotal tracker. Is there a good place to go to, or should people just ask in the forum if they would like to have a rough understanding on where we are heading with the Lima hard fork?
So naming service and bidding, this is protocol affecting, and soon documentation will land in protocol repository. And I think it's pretty decent. It's readable. It's in one place and it's concise. Pretty much the same about state channels, but state channels is wider topic. It's a vast area. So we need to ask those guys how they envision the documentation. Surely the APIs, the protocol affecting stuff is a protocol repository. But
Perfect. This is a perfect answer. I don't need more. So everyone here in the community or who listens to this talk, we will try to have it written down in the protocol repository and the documentation. And if this is not clear enough, then I think it's also nice to just point to areas there that you don't understand or where you would like to have some more information by making a forum post. I think this is the best way here if you want to dig deeper into it without kind of going into a one-to-one conversation with one of the developers. Thank you very much, Michal, for the update, and have a good work with the naming system and with Carol. And I would like to go to the next person here in this call, which is John, that we haven't seen for a while, and I'm happy to have him here. So John, please give us a little update about the API server middleware, and maybe also you can cover a few bullet points around the SDK, because I think Andrea is in holidays. I'm not sure about it.
So it's been a bit of a holiday week, so we don't have terribly much to report. On the JavaScript side, we are working on the wallet connection flow, building a generic wallet solution to enable communications between dApp and wallets, using WebSocket and HTTP, which can be used by the dApp to sign transactions and which can be subscribed to for changes so that it gets automatic notification of changes on the account.
Very interesting. Very good.
We are also adding compatibility for the new state channel breaking changes in version 4, and across all of the SDKs, we're updating for the breaking changes which are coming in version 4.0. On the middleware side, on the back end, nothing has changed, but on the front end, there's been lots of progress, and I would encourage anyone who's interested in the middleware to look at the alpha.mdw.apps.com site. We're trying to make it so that you can click on absolutely everything and move around accounts, transaction types, filter in useful ways. And I think in the last week, it's really come together. So now you can use our front end to really explore the blockchain and to look at everything that you're interested in.
Fantastic. I will do this after this call. Thank you very much, John, for this update. This also, I think, great stuff coming up, and you kind of do lots of things. It's a one-man show, and I thank you for this a lot. And I think the whole community does. And I hope in the future we have also some more people helping you and contributing to this important piece of Eternity. I would like to jump to the next person here in this group. You have mentioned SDKs and communication between wallets. So I think Stoyan is a good candidate to go next and say a few things about the base app. One thing that I would like also to point out in the base app, which I think not many people in the community might have discovered, is the connection between your mobile wallet and the desktop base app. When you, so basically everybody knows WhatsApp web or something like that, and how you already get basic kind of push notifications within the app when you want to make a transaction, and you can sign them on your mobile device and actually can do the transaction on the desktop. So there are many things happened in the past which are still not that big communicated or promoted within the community, and I think and we are moving forward. So Stoyan, give us the updates about the base app, and let's spread the word a little.
Sure. So we made a release yesterday. It's in the web version, which is at base.apps.com, and it's currently in public testing for iOS and Android. So you can, if you're have the public testing link, or if you sign up for the beta testing program on Android, you can test it. If not, I will most likely release it very soon for Android. I can do it today, and for iOS it may take a little bit longer because they review it. In this release, the most important features that were included that are new are the naming system. We now support claiming a name and seeing what names you have already claimed successfully and what account they're associated with. We're currently working on, for the next version, to be able to send to a name. Right now you can't send to a name yet. The other feature that's very useful is that we added is we have these tooltips now as part of onboarding where you can tap on different interface elements and learn what they do or what they are. This is particularly relevant to the account switcher because when we did testing previously, people didn't really understand what that button is with the Identicon. And so that's going to remedy that problem, but it's a general solution we could apply to any interface element. In other words, anything that's not clear to the user, we could clarify it there, and we're going to continue to test and figure out what what's clear and what's not clear, and the things that are not clear, we're going to add tooltips for. In addition, there's a number of small fixes in the release that I don't need to go through. We started working on internationalization of the base app with Chinese and Russian. We actually have this implemented, but we don't have the approved translations yet. So we decided to hold off on including in this release, but it will, it's very, very, very likely that it will be included in the next release. So even though you can't see it now, keep in mind it's being, it's almost there. And we also, I submitted a pull request for the metadata expansion, which specifies what kind of metadata apps should provide to wallets, browsers, and any other app-listed services. We also started discussing in the expansions focal. I will be asking people in the community to give feedback, because so far we haven't gotten much feedback. And then the last thing is I was able to have a good intro meeting with Karel, the CEO of Arcane, who provide the wallet as a API service. We would like to include them more in sort of the wallet conversations that we have, because they're in a way kind of an outside party that's doing wallets for eternity. So that's a very useful perspective for us, because right now, the base app team and the wallet extension and air gap we're sort of very close to eternity. It would be useful to have a perspective of somebody who's slightly more outside and has more the view of app developers and entrepreneurs who are not so close to eternity. So we're going to include them in future wallet phone calls, and we're scheduling the next one for Tuesday. We'll see who's available to attend, and we're hoping in that phone call to also make more progress on AX2 expansion and AX5 as far as some input that the base app team had. And we also, because we finished this sprint, we have lots of new and exciting stuff coming in the next sprint, the next release. So you'll hear more about those next week.
Thank you very much, Stoyan. And maybe one last thing I add to the base app, that we have difficulties right now in China, in the Chinese app stores. They are not fans of cryptocurrency wallets anymore. So you have to either live in Hong Kong or somewhere else to actually download it. But there's the uncensored web version, which I would like to promote, because I think it's great that we have it. And yeah, so this is a little ad from my side. Pivo, you are like around also everywhere right now, and helping different teams, but also working on some own challenges and bringing stuff on the streets. So please give us your update from the apps and coding side.
Hi. So first thing I want to talk about is the fungible token contract, where we continue discussion with Milan and the other people involved in AEXs, that we want to make it as simple as possible and bring it out as soon as possible. A work I did on this week is to update it to the newest compiler version that will be live from next week on the hosted compiler, so that we can already test it with the next version and update the tests together with this, as there were a few fixes also with the 3.2 node upcoming. So we can properly check some error messages now that come back from the contract. And I have to continue testing efforts on the proposed token contract, as the tests are not don't cover all the contract yet. Two other things I'm working on is the graffiti project, as we update the app to be compatible with the new changes in SDK and Node. There's some minor problems right now that we cannot communicate with our smart contract as we want to do it with the SDK. We're trying to figure this out, updating it to be used at the Eternity Universe conference as an online-only version. So make a few fixes and improve the user experience with it. And the last thing is we're currently planning on how to implement the governance feature of Eternity as a delegated weighted voting app on Eternity. And we are currently in planning phase and see what the requirements are for this and how we're going to solve some issues, such as scaling the smart contract when we want to get the final results, for example, that it will not cost infinitive gas. I think that's my full update. Other things that I was working on is helping the DevSuite team to find the goals of what they work on next and check out various things and problems that were popping up.
Thank you very much, Pivo, for this update. And you are previously managing the Alexia SDK team, but now it's Daniela is doing a fantastic job here. And I also think you are going to visit the Alexia London conference, which I think is really, really good. So people can reach out to you and maybe have a chat on between the talks and learn a little bit about it. So Daniela, please give us a little update about what's going on the Alexia SDK site.
Hi everyone. Here are the updates from our SDK Elixir team. So regarding noise listener, we have implemented almost all functionality needed to connect to mainnet or testnet by providing network ID. Defining your own network by passing list of peers. Now we can receive information about new key and microblocks, new mine transactions, new events like when some account is making new spend transactions to non-account, when someone makes Oracle queries to some non-Oracle, and when Oracle answers to a given query. This is on pull request right now, and we added also example usage on it. Regarding our work on state channels, we finished the basic functionality needed to interact with channels in a normal workflow. Mutual create, deposit, withdraw, and close between two basic accounts. So we opened a pull request this week and we merged it. We still have to fix the implementation of channel interaction between generalized and basic accounts. And also we have to implement more serializations in order to post transactions which are not a part of normal workflow of channel correctly. We also started working on releasing some of Erlang projects in Hex, so we could publish our SDK there. We start from publishing Erlang base 58 encoding decoding library, but we got some troubles as there is already a library with the same name. And this question is still under discussion. And this is my quick update. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Daniela. I really like your updates. It's super interesting to follow. You can really see and follow the tasks and challenges that are happening in the SDK team. So thanks a lot for this. And I think it's also inspiration for other teams that might want to build SDKs themselves to see and hear the different challenges that pop up here. So thanks a lot for your update, and I will move forward to the next person here in the room. And as at least on my screen, Martin is next to you. I would like to play the ball, Martin, and let him give an update about the DevStudent team, which is mainly Forge AE and some development tools around it.
Okay, hello guys. So last week's Forge team was mainly focused on the shapes for the Forge. Two, we have fixed some issues with the view shape command, and also we are now working on Angular and React shapes, which will actually create boilerplates applications with React and for React and Angular. Also, we have managed to update the SDK version and fix some issue on the contracts app that was reported in the forum from our community members. We are now working on releasing the new version today of this issue. Also, we have worked on two known issues of Forge. One of these was when calling functions from the Forge wrappers that has no return types, and we have some issues there. Also, accepting incoming parameters of the contracts, functions, and wrappers like maps, records, and lists is also fixed. And we are now working on extracting the local compiler now in the Docker compose file. So every member and user of the Forge can, if they want, they can change the compiler version of the Forge. And as people mentioned, we had several meetings that we have discussed also our roadmap for the DevStudent, and we will soon come up with a forum post, and we will share with the community what we want to work on. So yeah, this is from our side from this week.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this because I think we haven't done this in the past a lot, and often we're getting asked about roadmap and what's planned. We have seen Helmut here in this call also asking about details around, let's say, naming system or the development of state channels. And I'd like to at least have some forum posts where we talk about the future of XYZ, right? So where we can post our own little roadmap and what we think is important, but also give other people the chance to at least discuss, give a comment, and contribute, even if they are not developers, but maybe have spotted something in a different community or similar. So thanks a lot for this, Martin. Looking forward to read this. Last but not least, at least on my list here, is Emil. So Emil, please take the mic, and afterwards we can see if there's anyone which I have not seen and wants to talk. Emil, please give me your update, or us.
Yes, I mean, as Stoyan mentioned already, there's a new proposal for an expansion related to metadata for apps to give a bit more background where this is useful. So that on one hand, of course, it helps wallets to show some more information about the application, but it also empowers people to create something like app catalogs or a collection of apps that exists already for eternity and do this in a useful way. And maybe on top of that, let's see, maybe some projects come up and build a TCR to have a curation of applications or things like that. And the other big discussion that is currently going on is about the token standard, where Milan and Pivo are working on, and there is a discussion in the forum right now also about offering a migration path or making the token swappable to either switch to a new contract or new standard later on, or maybe we'll have a native token standard in the protocol. And where we could need some more input is still on the expansion 2 that defines the communication of wallets and apps. And we have, as John also said from the SDK team, now a reference implementation very close. And we hope that this makes it also a bit less abstract for people what is happening there. And hopefully more people can also provide some feedback of what they would like to see there if the current standard works for them.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Emil. And I really like your camera identity. I think you're using an XPS laptop, and the camera is always coming from the bottom. So it's really nice to see. I always have to laugh when I see it. But thank you for actually. I mean, there's a lot of awesome stuff going, and I also see Nikita smiling here. So obviously, Nikita also wants to say a few words. So Nikita, you are last but not least. Please give us a quick update so people can get back to work. And yeah, thanks for joining this call.
I know this camera thing because Karina also has a Huawei notebook, which they have also the camera integrated into a key of a keyboard. So you have to press it and then the camera pops up. Yeah, while many of the core devs are on vacation right now, I focused a little bit on some greenkeeping, basically tidying up the documentations in GitHub. Some of you might have received already some pull requests from my side. Also, we had a really cool talk yesterday with Philip Pivo and the DevSuit LimeChain guys around Martin. Had many cool idea how their talent could really contribute to the Eternity ecosphere, what things to build in the future. I focused mainly this week on getting our JavaScript SDK to run in Angular, which was a little bit tricky, but the solution was then kind of easy. Thank you very much for Shubendo and Pivo. And yeah, I'm just trying to mainly focus on supporting people in the forum, because I think there are some really valuable insights and what problems they stumble upon, so we can better update our documentation finally and have some really nice way to get going for everyone. Then also we proposed some couple new built-in functionalities for Sophia language, which are being kind of implemented by, I don't remember what this guy's name actually was right now. And yeah, focusing a little bit on maintaining the things that were left behind over the fast progressing last couple of weeks. And really happy to see all the things happening with the wallets and stuff. I'm trying to integrate all this today into the Angular application, and then release maybe a boilerplate that everyone could use. Yeah, that's
cool.
actually from my side. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think then we are through with everyone here. I want to just to close this with pointing out our conference Universe, the first Eternity Universe conference in Prague on September 19th and 20th. I think more or less everyone here in this call will also participate. Many people will make talks, and we will also showcase some applications and just new stuff that's happening. So spread the word, put this nice banner into your email signature if you can. I think Vlad prepared this, and thank you everyone. I wish you a great weekend, and hope to see everyone next Friday again. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.